Virtue signal line one, virtue signal line one. I thought about getting into this story yesterday when the news initially broke, but I gotta be honest with you guys, sometimes I just get so tired of talking about this. I get so tired of the media attempting to normalize this behavior. I know many people consider places like San Francisco, Chicago, Detroit, numerous cities throughout the Northeast and the Pacific Northwest to be the worst places in the country to live. Every year, hundreds of thousands of people are leaving these woke cities, seeking to build a life around normal people. Woke cities, they are known for their high crime, high taxes. Instead of churches on every corner, they have abortion clinics catering to male birthing persons or dispensaries for fresh needles. Even though these woke cities are dangerous, I think one of the most dangerous places in the country is Hollywood. It has nothing to do with crime or tax rates. Hollywood is kind of like ESPN. You enter as a normal person, and after a while, you are 100% infected with the fungus. Drew Barrymore has been in Hollywood for so long, there is no saving her at this point. The prognosis is grim. She is the recipient of a dual diagnosis, strong case of leukemia along with stage 4 OMB, Orange Man Bad. According to doctors, her chances of survival, her chances of transitioning back into a normal person are zero. Up until yesterday afternoon, I hadn't heard the name Drew Barrymore since the late 90s, early 2000s. Apparently, I was the last to know that she has a daytime talk show. I have a TV here in my studio. It's on every day while I'm prepping these videos. I've got Dish Network along with every streaming service you could imagine. Even with that being the case, I forgot Drew Barrymore existed. I damn sure didn't know she hosted a daytime talk show for the last 3 years. Judging by her ratings, most of you didn't know either. The Drew Barrymore Show. It is nationally syndicated through CBS Media. The show premiered September of 2020. Now, in order for a new show to premiere, you got to remove something else from the air. Theoretically, you want to remove underperforming programming. In most markets throughout the country, Drew Barrymore, she replaced a show titled Hot Bench, not Hot Bitch, which is a show following the lives of woke women like Leah Thomas and Harry Back. Hot Bench is a show produced by Judge Judy. They were averaging 1.7 million viewers in syndication before most markets pulled them off the air. Pretty good number, right? I wouldn't call it great for network television, but that is a respectable number for daytime TV. But CBS knew. CBS knew Drew Barrymore could perform better. I mean, she has legions and legions of fans. Her name is like a wanker spanker's wet dream, a woman with a traditional masculine name. CBS figured millions of preparation H'ers would tune in to watch her every day. It's not like they have jobs to attend. The most work these people do on a monthly basis is walking to the mailbox on the 1st to collect their woke welfare. During her second week, Drew Barrymore averaged just 600,000 viewers. After 6 weeks on the air, ratings dropped 38%. What does CBS do? Historically, when a show performs this poorly in its first season, networks pull the plug. They cancel it. CBS, though, they decided to go with the approach ESPN and HBO used with Bomani Jones. They extended the show for season 2, then season 3, and now season 4. Right now, Drew Barrymore is averaging around 740,000 viewers. This week, she devised a brilliant strategy to cure her ratings problem. To her credit, it might work. At least it's working temporarily. Drew Barrymore has been on the air for 3 years. This is the first time she has generated headlines throughout the mainstream media. Yesterday, the special guest on The Nancy Drew was none other than the star of all stars, Dylan Mulvaney. Casey, who in the hell is Dylan Mulvaney? Well, if you're a normal person, I can't fault you for your inability to recognize this birthing person. Dylan Mulvaney is a transgender rights activist. I'm guessing their birth name was Dylan and they liked the name so much they chose to keep it as their girl name. I don't know. I didn't reach out to Dylan for clarification. Dylan Mulvaney rose to woke prominence last year, documenting their transition from he to she. Dylan has over 10 million followers on TokTik, and her video series Days of Girlhood has over 1 billion views. And you know what? Good for Dylan Mulvaney. I will never begrudge someone else's success. It's not the route I would have taken to make a living, but it seems to have worked for Dylan Mulvaney. This should be a success story, right? This should be proof that America is not a transphobic country. Here you have an identifier who presumably made millions of dollars documenting the removal of the Franken beans while blossoming into a delicate little flower. This success landed Dylan Mulvaney an interview with the president, Joe Biden. Now, Joe Biden, he will not sit down for an interview with Tucker Carlson. He hid in his basement when Joe Rogan tried to organize a debate on his platform between Biden and Trump. My inside sources tell me Joe Biden, he was not afraid to debate Donald Trump. He was afraid of being exposed and diagnosed with Orange Man Bad. Obviously, those fear tactics did not work because Joe Biden was diagnosed with OMB anyway. But like I said, Dylan Mulvaney should be a transgender success story, right? This should be proof there are enough people in this country willing to accept you for however you choose to identify. Not according to Dylan Mulvaney, though. No! During this interview yesterday with Drew Barrymore, Dylan Mulvaney fought through the emotion to share traumatic stories of criticism. I am constantly misgendered. It hurts. Oh, it hurts. I will give the doctors credit here. Whatever doctor assisted Dylan Mulvaney through this transition, they did one hell of a job. Rachel Levine might want to give them a call. Upon first glance, you look at Dylan Mulvaney, you'd think she was a young woman. Problem is, once that facial orifice opens, the doubt surrounding proper gender identification is removed. Dylan Mulvaney is not the reason, though, this clip from the Drew Barrymore Show is making headlines. Watch for yourself. See if you can spot the virtue signal that caused the media to pick up this story. Roll the film.
There is so much hatred directed at the trans community right now. It's everywhere. And I think the greatest weapon that I can contribute is trans joy and comedy and talking about hard, subjects. It's interesting because I look at someone like you and I can't imagine anybody disliking you.
Oh, please. Do you want to know, ironically, who dislikes me the most sometimes?
Who?
Myself.
Oh, me too. Oh. But I guess, you've asked me now, what I would do to combat the hate, right?
Yeah.
But what do you do?
If you read reviews, just like on social media, you are pretty much guaranteed a 50-50. Some like it, some don't. So you've got to be willing to bear down and brace for it.
First of all, what is it with these people and their natural inclination to assume the position of fellatio? What causes these people to want to get on their knees and worship another birthing person? I don't understand it. The mainstream media is praising Drew Barrymore for bowing down to Dylan Mulvaney. This is a sign of progress! Progress? Progress? Let me ask you something. If Donald Trump was a guest on this show and Drew Barrymore got on her knees in front of him, how would the media react? How would they cover the story? This is misogyny! Why is she bowing down to a man? To make matters worse, she's being subservient to the orange man. Drew Barrymore just set women back 60 years. All of these feminists who have been hiding would come out and destroy Drew Barrymore. What is the difference? Donald Trump was born a man. Dylan Mulvaney, born a man. Someone please explain the difference to me. Well, KC, there's a huge difference. You just don't understand. Dylan Mulvaney was born a man, but is now a woke woman. Oh, okay. That makes perfect sense. So, when Drew Barrymore bows to a woke woman who was born a man, that's perfectly acceptable. That's progress. As you saw in the clip, Dylan Mulvaney tried to be the victim. I have so many haters. I always get criticized. And look, to Drew Barrymore's credit, she did point out that everyone gets criticized. I get criticized on a daily basis. Some people like me, some people hate me. Part of the business. It's not hatred, it's opinion. Because of their marginalized status, Dylan Mulvaney has this expectation that she should be exempt from criticism. You can't criticize me. I'm transgender. I belong to a protected group. Criticism of me is a hate crime, a direct violation of the woke commandments. And of course, the mainstream media is doing their part to further this bullshit narrative. Headline at the Daily Beast: Drew Barrymore attacked by hateful trolls over interview with trans influencer. What were some examples provided by the Daily Beast of these hateful attacks? Numerous people calling it disgusting that Drew Barrymore kneeled in front of Dylan Mulvaney. Numerous people accusing Drew Barrymore of setting back women for kneeling to a biological man. In other words, the same thing the shitfucks would be saying if Drew Barrymore had kneeled in front of Donald Trump. The Daily Beast also claimed in the last 24 hours, Dylan Mulvaney has been the victim of misgendering. I happen to agree. I have seen a lot of people calling Dylan Mulvaney a woman. I thought the proper term was trans woman. I'm so confused here. I mean, which is it? Which is it? Look, I am sure Dylan Mulvaney does receive hatred online. I have no doubt that happens. But how come this hatred is only a problem for the media when it happens to someone who identifies with a marginalized group? I never see the mainstream media call out Talbert Swan for his constant denigration of white people. This was nothing but a virtue signal from Drew Barrymore. She is using Dylan Mulvaney for exposure to her struggling talk show. This was not some random in-the-moment act. I believe this was coordinated. It was set up. Guess what was announced earlier this afternoon, 24 hours after Drew Barrymore kneeled? MTV announced she would be hosting the MTV Movie and TV Awards. What a coincidence. Let me get out of here. I'm ready to go straight to bed. Today has been rough. Hoping I start feeling better tomorrow. But give me your thoughts on this. Drew Barrymore kneels to Dylan Mulvaney. Was this a random act or was this set up? Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.